Welcome to the Fault Line Podcast, a podcast of Calvary Worship Center, New Westminster. A fault line is a place where powerful forces meet beneath the surface. And in many ways, that's where we find ourselves today, living at the intersection of faith and culture in a rapidly changing world. On this podcast, we will explore the tensions, the questions, and the cultural moments that are shaping over time. And we ask what it means to be a follower of Christ faithfully in the middle of it all. So welcome everybody. My name is Pastor Rosa, and I'm joined with some lovely guests. Thank you all for being here. I feel like this is just such a convergence. I feel like I have all my friends seated at the table, and it's so nice to have you all here. You bring a wealth of knowledge. You're amazing women in your own right, in all the things that you do, but also I feel so blessed to actually do life with each of you. And so I wanted to bring you on this podcast so we could talk about some of the things that have been on my heart and my mind, thinking and talking through womanhood. But before we get there, let's do some introductions. So where should we start? We'll start on the left with my lovely friend of over a decade, Kelly.
Yes, so I'm Kelly. I'm so blessed to be here. It's such a privilege and just a blessing to be able to sit here with you ladies. What do I say?
Who are you?
I'm one of the elders at our New West branch.
You are.
I am an educator. I've been a teacher for 16 years. I made the move into administration. I'm a vice principal this year. Thank you. I'm a mom. I'm a God warrior, I hope. And I'm so happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you. Thank you, Kelly. Moving on to the lovely Emma, my British friend.
Hello, my name is Emma. Who am I? I am currently just graduated as a public relations specialist.
Come on.
Speak to it.
Yes. I am a wife. I am also a worship leader in New West and Surrey.
Yes.
And we also run the Thrive for young people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, which is ages?
25 to 35.
Come on.
Yeah.
So you lead that with your husband. And so I've already talked a little bit about I'm Pastor Rosa. I pastor a church with my husband in New Westminster, together a congregation of young people, and we love them. And so, he did the last episode, so you would probably have seen him. And so, this is our next few episodes. So over to my friend Rocky.
Yes, I am Rocky. I am a wife. I work in healthcare.
Yes, you do.
And as a paramedic and also in public health administration as well. And assistant prayer director in Calvary Worship Center. That is me in a nutshell.
Awesome. She can pray. She can pray. I mean, we all can pray. All right, and over to last but certainly not least, Pastor Samantha.
Yes, I am Pastor Samantha, and I co-pastor with my husband at a university. And so we work with a lot of students. And I'm also a therapist, a counselor, a psychotherapist, where I work with kids. I also work with university students and all ages. So I'm happy to be here.
And we're happy to have you here. Ladies, so, when I was formulating these things, these topics, these questions, these things that have been on my mind and on my heart, some of you responded back to me and you were like, wow. I've had to do a lot of deep thinking and searching my mind. I think because of the spheres that we're in, we have a tendency to go. And then we forget that, wow, we've become. So really we're talking about what it means as a woman to become, and sometimes even the process of unbecoming to become. So the first question I want to throw out there is this. When you think about womanhood, what has shaped your definition of womanhood? Maybe it's evolved over the years, but if you think back even to the little girl that you were, where did that come from? As you were growing and you said, I want to be like that. Where did that come from? And maybe even how it's changed over time. Who can I throw this to? I will throw it to Pastor Samantha. We'll go back around.
Okay. When I think of, I'm trying to think of my younger self. I think the first place my mind goes is my like teenage self,
Yep.
because I remember in middle school, like that's when, or no, during my childhood is when YouTube emerged. And I remember the era where like beauty influencers got really big, or at least, in my day and age. And I remember I would sit there like during the summer and watch these videos of like these beauty influencers, and these makeup influencers. And I remember being like, oh yeah, that's what I want to do. Like I want to be like that. And so I think my understanding of womanhood had a lot to do with image and appearance. Like how can you look pretty? Like, how can you look beautiful? So very and that had impact in so many ways that I had to untangle later. But that was my first image. I think when I got older, it moved. I studied politics in university, and then it moved into more, I wasn't walking with Christ yet, but moved into more like this feminist, strong.
Sure. Yeah.
What does it look like to be a strong woman? What does it look like to not need a man, not need to rely on men? That I also really had to untangle.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So these two images.
You said a lot. That's good. It's good. I'm also thinking about when you said YouTube, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
That 2009, right? I think is when YouTube kind of came out. And I just remember YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, man, we got hit with it hard.
Yeah.
And so when you were talking about like, this is what shaped, I was thinking about a conversation that I was part of recently where we were talking about how before, maybe in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you were shaped by your circle. So by your moms, by your aunts, by the other women who were around you, they were the most influential voices. But all of a sudden, the World Wide Web launches, and I even remember dial-up?
Yep.
Modem.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, you have access to the whole wide world right here. That didn't exist before. So yeah, shaping. Kelly, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Oh, okay. I have a few more years on everyone here.
Sure.
But so I remember distinctly being like middle school, and we did this thing about our names, what your names meant. And my name meant warrior. And I think I took that a little.
She's like, yes.
It's evolved now, but I think at the time it went straight to that like independent woman. I don't need a man. I don't need anybody else. I'm the oldest of my 3 sisters. And so it was like, I was the one who was in charge. I was the one who was going to do everything, make sure everybody was taken care of. And then I think that was probably one of the biggest things I had to untangle when I started dating my husband. And then in our early newlywed era was this like, oh, I have to like depend on you, and I should be depending on you. And it's actually okay for me to say I need help, right? So I think for me, it was this like, I'm going to do it on my own. And being the oldest too, I was the first to do everything. And so it was like, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to complain that I forgot my lunch at school when I was in grade 5 because I'm just going to deal with it because my sisters are watching or whatever, right? And so it was always that I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it well so that I'm setting the example for my younger sisters, if that makes sense. And that whole like, I don't want to depend on anybody kind of mindset took a lot to like unfilter and be okay with it, because then I'm not failing what it looks like to be a woman or what my perception of being a woman was.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is.
Because I never wanted to rely on a man. No, I was going to be able to do everything myself, right?
Which is so interesting because you're married to a guy who is very hands-on, very like works with his hands, doesn't mind getting in the dirt, is very much forward like in that way. So I can imagine having to be like, okay, I'm going to let you do this. I can do it, but doesn't mean I should.
And that also permeates into my other parts of my life, right? Like my friendships, my work life, right? Like letting people, I don't have to be in the mix of everything or I don't have to fix everything. And I think that was one of those big turning points in my life when you're just like, oh, this is a moment where God's telling me this is something that's come to the surface and I'm actually like equipped now to like deal with it, was that like I don't have to fix everything for everybody. Sometimes it's just listening and just being like, yep, okay, what do you need me to do? Rather than going ahead and be like, I'm going to put it all back together for you so that you can
feel good and I can go back to normal.
Yeah, that might be in episode 3 though.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Emma, over to you, my dear.
So interesting because I'm listening to everybody and you guys are saying teens. But for me, when I was thinking about this, I can distinctly remember I was probably around 3, 4. I was thinking about this today and I was like, I was definitely young, definitely before 5. Obviously, I have come from a single mother, single parent household. So it was always me, my mum, and my sisters. So it was always women.
All girls, yeah.
Yeah. And then I was thinking about my aunts. They are all strong in their own right. I mean, there's multiple of them. Then my mum has 14 brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
But the women in my family always take the lead. So I grew up watching so I just thought, women lead. Right?
That was normal.
That's what I saw. Women lead, women do everything. And then I grew up with no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to do it for you. You need to learn how to, we moved a freezer, me and my sisters one time. Yeah, freezers are heavy. Yeah.
There's no guy there.
There's no, what are you going to do? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hate putting IKEA furniture together. Like, I'm not it's horrible. Yeah. But, no one's coming to do it for you. So I grew up with that kind of, so then getting married, then that was a whole thing.
Of course.
Because you now have to be, dependent. And you're like, no.
You're not supposed to be in this position.
Yeah. And so God taught me so much in the earlier years of my marriage, just being like, yes, you depend on him, but what I really want you to rely on is me, right? And so fixing your mindset was a really big thing for me. Just coming to lean on people, like you said, and just sometimes just listening. I can fix it, I can do everything. I don't need to be the person that has all the answers. So that's for me.
You can't even have all the answers anyway.
Yeah.
So and it's just that the relief of pressure to know that, okay, I don't have to do that. Thank you for sharing, Emma. Rocky.
So like Emma, mine was very, very young, and I have this clear picture in my mind of my mom would always, so Sunday morning, my dad would go to church early and, open the church, get the church ready, and then my mom would follow after with me and my brother. And I remember very distinctly sitting on the couch dressed in my frilly dress, and my mom would be upstairs getting ready because she was like, I will always make sure that you guys are put together and ready, and then I'll go take care of myself.
Yeah.
So my mom was very much she did everything. She had it all together. Just that appearance of being stretched, but you didn't actually know she was stretched. So that definitely formed my perception of what it meant to be a woman. I mean, you have everything on your shoulders, but you look calm, cool, and collected. And everything rolls off your shoulders. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And then reality hits and it's like, actually, no, I can't. And I'm not supposed to. So being able to let go has been a very challenging experience, but one that I'm very grateful for, because now I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also we have to remember that our parents grew up in a different era where they had different set of expectations of what womanhood was for them and what they had to, I even think today I'm like, man, I know I have this conversation about millennials all the time with different people, but even my sister, right? I talk with her about this all the time. I'm like, the things that I have had to do as a woman without complaining, I just get up and I do it. I look at you guys and I'm like, you guys are complaining about having to do things that are so basic, right? And then even more so with our mothers and our aunties, that generation. And a lot of them have lived through experiences of moving to new countries, war, all these things, right? Grandmother, same thing. I think about my grandma. I'm like, man, she also, recently my mom was just telling me some of the things that she grew up with and understanding the dynamics of my family. I'm like, we all need therapy. This is a lot. How are you guys processing this? And it's we just move on.
Yeah.
We just have had to. So I think for me, womanhood had a lot to do with, knowing that you're carrying a lot. I mean, even just the way our bodies are designed, we have periods every month. We have to go through all of these things, with all these changes, right? And just knowing that that's our lot in life. But then I also coming to a place of realizing that you're not alone in that, and that yes, there are many things to carry, but you were never meant to carry this by yourself. And I think, unfortunately, in our mother's generation and our grandmother's generation, they didn't carry it alone. They had the community that was with them.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now it's like we're trying to use the script from their time and implement it into a very isolative society, and it's not working.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really not working. I mean, you think about even the 1950s, right, where the women would be like with the pies by the window and be like, hey, dinner's almost ready. They had that, we were just talking about this, white pages. White pages.
White pages, yes.
People used to have their information in the white pages. You could look somebody up and look up their phone number. That does not happen anymore. So there is this, I don't know what to call it, if it's a fallacy that's come up with having more access to the entire world has come with its own responsibilities and duties, but then also while being very isolative. So you're trying to figure that out. And then let's not talk about how, you're trying to compare yourself to people that are not even in your circle of influence.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that that's put a lot of pressure on us, and it's put a lot of pressure on womanhood. But I think we're gonna actually pause there, and we're gonna move into the next episode. So I wanna say thank you for joining us today on the Fault Line podcast. This is a podcast of Calvary Worship Center, New Westminster. And if you have any questions and would like us to cover any topics, please send us an email at podcast@calvaryonline.ca. Thank you for joining us today, and join us on the next one. God bless you. Bye.